Hello, hello. This is Uncle Jerry with another edition of Live from the Eagle's Nest at Crossroads Wine and Spirits in beautiful Grand Junction. Today we're going to talk about veal chops. I've got a real simple recipe for you. And you don't really see great veal chops in grocery stores or butcher shops around here. We bring these in from D'Artagnan, and they are spectacular. Reminds me of meals back home, in fact, in Florida, where we had things like this available all the time. Anyways, this is Veal Chops Made Easy. I found the recipe on the Food Network. It's one by Kathy Lowe. She's really prolific. She's got about 35 pages of recipes on the Food Network, and I highly recommend you visit her. I did make a few personal adjustments that I think will make it easy for all of my customers to enjoy veal chops. I think that, veal chops are one of those things that are a little bit intimidating because people just don't see it all that often. It's really quite simple. We're going to start off by chopping up a few cloves of garlic and about a tablespoon or so of rosemary. Then we're going to put them in a mixing bowl and whisk in a few tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Please do yourself a favor and use something other than the oil you find in the grocery. Olive oil from the big companies has been sitting around in grocery store warehouses for years, and olive oil, unlike wine, is best served young. In fact, you want to consume olive oil within a year or a year, maybe 3 or 4 months of when it was pressed. It's got to be one of those inside jokes in the grocery trade that consumers don't actually know what real olive oil tastes like, so they just serve up rancid olive oil. The University of California at Davis did a study a few years ago, and they found that, something like 85% of olive oil in grocery stores was either rancid or it didn't meet the standards of extra virgin. Come on over to Crossroads Fine Foods. Allie and Katrina will be happy to sample you on olive oil, and we will literally show you the difference between rancid olive oil and fresh olive oil. Anyway, I usually wipe off the chops with a damp paper towel, then salt and pepper both sides. Next, take a rubber spatula or pastry brush and smear the garlic and rosemary mixture on both sides of the chops. Theoretically, your skillet is getting close to medium hot by now. Be careful. If you heat the skillet up to super hot, you're going to burn the garlic. It needs to be just hot enough so that the meat is sizzling as soon as you place it in the skillet, but not smoking. Then you'll brown the chops for 2 minutes on each side. After the second side is done, transfer the chops to a baking tray and slide it into a 375-degree oven for 9 to 10 minutes. At 9 minutes, I usually poke it with the butt of my wooden spoon just to keep sure I'm not overcooking it. While the chops are finishing in the oven, we're going to make the sauce. This little pan sauce is really great because there isn't much to mess up. You're simply going to add a half a cup of dry white wine to the skillet. Now, for those of you in a Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio rut, these will work fine, but you could try something exciting like Albarino or Verdejo from Spain, or a Trebbiano from Italy, or Uni Blanc from France. Basically any crisp wine. Just don't use California Chardonnay. While the wine is deglazing your skillet, use a wooden spoon to scrape up all the little bits at the bottom of the pan. After about a minute, go ahead and add your quarter cup of broth. Now, chicken broth works fine, but I like using veal stock from More Than Gourmet. It's a great little company back east, and they make all these little concentrated stocks and demi-glace and things like that. It's a world-class kitchen, and you just add one of these little packets to 4 cups of water, and you got veal stock. It's very easy. Anyways, you want to stir frequently and let the sauce simmer gently until it's reduced by about a third. Then take your chops out of the oven and let them rest for 5 minutes before serving. As a final touch, you spoon on the sauce. Then all you have to do is get ready for the adulation from everybody that you're serving. They're going to love it. It's a fantastic meal. We keep the chops on hand in the store almost all the time, and I have these recipes printed out for you. Hey, this is Uncle Jerry. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with another recipe or another discussion on beer and wine real soon. Thanks for checking us out on Facebook, too.